Stop checking out the garden. It's been very hot today. I need your pruners when you're done. Strong smell of smoke out here today. Huh? You get it? Or you want to leave it or keep it?
Well, if it's going to make a rose, I'll keep it.
I'm gonna make a rose. The trick with this is you got to get down below the ground line. It helps to keep them from resprouting suckers. Look at that sharp.
I know.
Taking some suckers off the roses here. These roses have kind of been abused a bit in the past, so they tend to draw suckers more than they should. What I noticed over here was tomato plants were, get one dead stem on this one. I'm going to trim him back. Get rid of that dead one. It's resprouting from the top fine up here, regrowing from the top, so I'll just clean it up a little bit. Take off any dead growth. That's still alive there. Hello, hello, we're just out in the garden today. After sunset, it's been over 100 degrees today. It's still about 95, which is atypical for the valley, San Fernando Valley, but we do get these heat spells on occasion. And I'm just cleaning up some tomato plants here. One thing we noticed today was a heavy smell of smoke when we walked outside. We've been hiding out in the air conditioning most of the day, and when we came outside it was very noticeable. I'm not sure exactly what fire is blowing our way, but something sure is. It's quite noticeable when you're smelling a wildfire. It smells much different from a fireplace or outdoor fire pit or anything like that. It's a very acrid, sweet, almost sour smell, and you can sort of see kind of the orange haze a little bit in that direction. There was a fire in Simi Valley to that direction that I'm looking right there. It's a good 15 miles away though, maybe. So depends sometimes on the wind direction and how heavy and how big the fire is. It can be a rather small fire, and if the wind is going our way, it can really push the smoke towards us, so you get the smell of it more than before. These are green onions that have gone to seed over time and continue throwing off seeds. There's some of the seeds from the green onion there. I've been collecting these into a bag. That was just probably ready to go into its bag and be shaken out and have the seeds fall out in the bag, and giving them away to neighbors because I have so many of them. Here we are, lemon thyme, and it does really smell lemony. I'm just going to go through and just kind of neaten up a little bit here. It's got a little leggy over the, well, probably 2 years it's been in this pot. And in here, this is one of the things we deal with all the time, is this is a elm seedling. The elm tree, which is over top of us here, that's a Chinese elm. It throws off billions of these little black seeds, and they get into an area like this where they get plenty of water, they just sprout everywhere. And so it's always a little bit of a trick to pull them out and keep the containers and the beds all neatened out. What I'm doing here, I'm just reaching in and just sometimes grooming plants and herbs, especially, just kind of reach in and pull out the dead growth, and it'll come off in your hand very easily and leaving the good growth behind yet. So it's we do that with the grasses too, fountain grasses. You just sort of put your hand in, rake them out, and clean out the dead growth. Or how is everybody? Hope everyone's having a great day today. It's been very hot here, as I mentioned earlier. What's the temperature been like in your guys' area? It was hit over 100 today here in the San Fernando Valley. So we did not even step outside during the heat of the day. This was some peppermint in this pot as well that was threatening to take over and then eventually just kind of faded on its own. So I'm looking for something to go back into this area of the pot here to see what I can kind of add to the lemon thyme here. Maybe some parsley. We had some parsley growing in another pot, and it didn't, well, it lasted quite a while actually, but eventually it faded too. We didn't use as much of it as I thought we might. Here are our tomato plants. Got our cherry tomato here. Again, kind of finishing up on the top, and then got some tomatoes growing here, but then regrowing from the bottom. This is a much larger tomato here. We just got plenty of flowers coming in here. Now, unfortunately, I've heard that tomato plants don't like to pollinate over about 90 degrees, so these flowers may not actually turn into anything because it's simply too darn hot. Expecting 100-degree temperatures for the next 4 or 5 days or so. And here's our third tomato plant. This is the one that was looking rather sickly before, and what's funny is it's actually looking better than the other two now, which they started off really heavily and then kind of had that dieback period where this one's really springing to life. I'm trying to see if I see any flowers on him yet. I do not. No flower. Oh, take that back right here. And here's a series of flowers. Hopefully they'll get pollinated. We'll see what happens. Otherwise in the garden, just gonna go over. You need the printers back? Here? Okay. I'm gonna go check out the sweet potato bed over here. Sweet potatoes, of all things, love this heat. It's an understandable reason why they grow so well in the American South. You can see they just send out vines everywhere. And we've had a lot of great success with the sweet potatoes in the past, and you can see we're having another really great year with that. A little bit of weeding or some grass popping up in the middle there, we probably should get pulled out. Now what you can't see, a little more difficult to see, the sun has gone down here, so it's getting progressively darker. Hello, thermal star. These are our white potatoes. And you see there is some kind of floppiness here. We'll see, they may be ending up their time. From this section, sweet potatoes end about here, and this is all white potatoes, mainly because we grew so many sweet potatoes we really didn't need them all. End up giving away to friends and other things. So these might actually be finishing. I don't know if it's just the heat that's got them knocked down or if they're coming to the end of their growth period. We'll see. Then it'll be, once the tops of these die back, we'll know that it's time to harvest them and see what kind of sweet potatoes we got. Our poor little blueberry here, he won't do anything until the temperatures come down. He isn't alive. I actually checked the stem the other day just to make sure he was still alive, but he'll have to come back when the temperatures cool down a bit. Some lantanas we got this back hard. Oh god, a good couple months ago, and now it's starting to come back. This is the lavender here that I grew from cuttings from probably that lavender over there, and lantana and another lavender here. I do like lavender, so we grew it quite well. And a little strawberry plant coming up there. So, what else is going on here? This is society garlic. I posted some pictures of the other day on the website and on Facebook and things. Just a nice close-up, and that came up very well with the camera. It's such a common plant. You see it in landscapes everywhere here. It does have a rather strong smell of garlic, and now I'm hearing sirens in the distance. I wonder if maybe there's a new fire that's cropped up, and that's what we were smelling. To our southeast from here, we're hearing lots of sirens, and of course our lavender. A little late in the day, but this is covered with bees during the day, and I've taken some video of that recently too. This has been one of our big successes for our new plants. This is a buckwheat. Got it through our Monrovia sponsorship a few months ago, and it has really taken to the garden. You can see the base of the plant there. It's flowering wonderfully. Again, it's the time of year for this. This will slow down as the temperatures cool down and the rains begin. But right now, it's really looking beautiful. I've actually posted some pictures of this the other day too. I tend to really like close-ups and stuff of the garden plants. So this is always a target of mine when I come out with the camera into the garden. I always like buckwheat, and you see it growing on the hillsides here, a different variety growing on the hillsides here all over Southern California, and I've always liked it. It turns this lovely rust color as it starts to get seeds, and makes a nice color for the garden, a nice contrast for the garden against green and other things. So I think we'll go ahead and run our soaker for this, what I call the U. This is a mechanical timer I use throughout the garden for our soaker hoses. So I really like it. You just turn it to, in this case, 2 hours. The flow is really low. So 2 hours gives it a really good soaking, but does not cause it to run off or anything. Basically, it waters all the way up this bed, across the front, and then around and over to those roses you just saw us at. And that is a way of saving on water while still keeping plants green in the area. We do, hello Jenny, we do water these ornamental beds here, these azalea beds and stuff, with these retrofitted sprinklers you might have seen around. We don't run them very often, especially at this time with the water restrictions and everything, but they water these more spread out beds and keep, so that's a Raphael lepus over there, keep them green even through our driest months here. We actually got a recent water report from the LADWP, and they said we're doing quite well with our water usage, so that's always good to hear. This is a Bewitched Rose, showing off one of its new blossoms there, and you can see the soaker hose running around and down through this bed, and this is again part of that whole U-shaped segment that goes up and around. You have two soaker hoses. You saw the splitter on the timer over there, one that does the first side of the one that does the other. I originally tried to do one hose connected together, but it's too long, it loses too much pressure, and can't push the water to the end of the hose, so had to break it off into two spots. Again, another Bewitched Rose, another Bewitched Rose. These roses were on the property when we moved in, so that means they're at least 19 years old, and I would guess probably more like 25 years old. Lost a few of them over the years. They either get too shaded or too hot, but they've done pretty well, and we like keeping them around. We know what they are. This is one of the few things I can identify in the garden because they actually have tags. Some of them still have their hybrid tags on the base. Let's see if I see one. That one's right there. Amidst all the more elm tree seedlings that I've got to take out in here. So down here at the base of this one, there's a little tag that tells you Armstrong, and then the back of it should say, yeah, zoom in, come on, focus, Bewitched. And these are named for the TV show, funny enough. I did some research on them when we first moved in, and the odd thing is my wife is a huge fan of Bewitched. She grew up with the show and really enjoys it, and really loved growing up with it, and quite a fan. And here we ended up with a garden full of roses named for the program. It did come on in the 1960s when the show was on the air. Another sucker over here we're going to try and reach in and take off. You can tell the sucker, of course, on roses because they come from below the bud meaning here where the hybrid top is grafted onto the hardier rootstock underneath. And another elm seedling popping up there. More lavender here. Again, something that we love having in the garden. It grows really well here in the San Fernando Valley. We actually have neighbors that have huge plants. The one on the other side is getting to be quite large. I might have to take a lot of cuttings off it so that's the only way to divide it and get some more plants off of it. That's it, I think, out here in the front garden today. I'm going to step into the back. Hey, I'm going to go to the back. It's going to be dark garage, so you can't see all the mess. Well, maybe you can. A little darker back here in the back garden. I'll get a few minutes in before things totally disappear for the day. I've been keeping this bird bath full, and I put the rocks in it because the bees have just been constantly drinking off of this bird bath. Something I hadn't noticed in the past, but they've really been needing water, and I've been sitting on the edge right here, and you may have seen some video on the website where I have some close-up video of them sitting right there and drinking off kind of in shifts. You'll see a few of them come in, take off, and then a couple more will come in right behind them. So This is the back garden, for those of you who may not have seen it before. Not a whole lot of weeding or anything to back here. This is surrounded by mature trees, so it doesn't get a lot of sun, and therefore, and also it doesn't get, paths don't get watered except during the rainy season. The roses are all soaker hoses, and so we don't have a lot of weeds as brought up in the past because it simply doesn't get enough water. One of the few benefits of drought period here in Southern California does cut down on the weeding. Here's our green onions that we took seeds from that plant I showed you before. There's some lantana. These are probably beyond ready to go into their own pot. I need to pot these up, I think, once more into a slightly bigger pot individually, and then they're going to go right up in the garden. Elm Seedling growing here. Our ginger plant is continuing to go. It's actually growing really, really quickly. I would say maybe in a couple days since the last video I took of it's grown that much. And there's another sprout on that side, which is just coming up. Where's he at? There he is. Right there. Just gonna grow that for use in the kitchen, in the culinary kitchen. It's our epiphyllum, which are really springing back now that they've got a proper amount of water and sunlight. They were suffering a bit, but now they're doing quite well. As night descends here in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles, we'll bid you all adieu. Thanks for tuning in. I will probably post this video up on YouTube as well to share there. But, one little thing up here I'll show you as we finish. Thanks again for watching. For more information, you can always visit the website douglasewelch.com. There you'll find links to a gardener's notebook as well as everything else that I do. You can find us on YouTube at D.E. Welch, Douglas Edward Welch, W-E-L-C-H, and you'll find links to everything on the website. Hi, music lover. Just finishing up for the evening. Sunlight's waning here in the San Fernando Valley. You can also help us out by checking out our garden photography products. I've been posting a host of products on Redbubble using my own photography, which is significant. I take tons of photos out here in the garden nearly every day, and Redbubble allows me to turn them into some very neat products. You'll see a link right at the very top of the website if you visit there, and you can get laptop sleeves, mugs, totes, cards, a lot of neat bags with drawstring bags and tote bags and pillows and a bunch of other stuff depending on the photo that you can check out there. Some of the photos that I'm most proud of get turned into products there, mainly so I can have products made for myself, but also let you share them with your friends and family who might enjoy them, especially if they have a particular type of flowers that they like. Bird feeders in the backyard, and our little feeding place here out in our woodland garden, as I call it. Friends are always amazed when they come back here. We're only one block off a major street here in the San Fernando Valley, and it's quite the little woodland paradise. So again, thanks for joining us. Hope you had a good time. Douglas E. Welch, W-E-L-C-H, is the website. Should be in my profile here on Periscope too. You can check everything out there. Have a great night. Stay cool if you're like we are here on the valley, and keep on digging.